Right, I do apologise for the stuffling. I've got this incurable, deadly disease known as man flu. Okay, so it's been a while since I did anything on my YouTube page. Actually, since Inception was the last time I did something, so that was all the way back in July. And funnily enough, I've only been to the cinema twice since then. The film I saw at the cinema after Inception was actually Piranha 3D, of all things. Film itself, I didn't actually mind too much. Delivered exactly what you would expect. It's like people criticising Piranha 3D in the same way as people criticising Freddy vs Jason. I have a bit of a soft spot for Freddy vs Jason, I must say. It's a movie that's completely unpretentious. It's trying not to be anything else apart from a movie about Freddy and Jason fighting each other. Piranha 3D is effectively just a film about people getting naked and being naked whilst being eaten by big fucking piranhas, really. So it does have its flaws. I mean, it just seems chopped to shit, and I was really disappointed to find that actually most of the stuff that features in the trailer is not actually in the sodding movie. But yeah, no, it delivered what it did. The 3D is terrible. I was reading reviews about Piranha 3D before it came out. Even Eli Roth, who is just, that much of a motor mouth, was sitting there shouting about how good the 3D process is and how good the conversion jobby is on Piranha 3D. Now, it's better than the conversion job they did on Clash of the Titans, which, to be fair, was just fucking rubbish. It's not very good. That's the thing. Post-converted 3D is not very good. The 3D itself was fairly shoddy, which in itself is a problem for a movie that is called Piranha 3D. Yeah, I thought it was pretty fun and enjoyable. It delivered exactly what I wanted. Kelly Brook was completely naked, and I'm pretty sure he saw a JJ on one bit. Oh yeah. It didn't do anything other than I thought it would do. It's a blimmin' piranha movie about piranhas eating people. What can I say? I would give it 3 out of 5. I do have issues with it, and I had a real gripe about the fact that they ended it right where the third act should start. They say that there's going to be giant piranhas, and the film ends, and I was a bit disappointed, but there you go. The only other film I've seen since Piranha 3D was Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. I thought on the face of it, it's about as enjoyable as Kick-Ass. It actually took me a little while to get into it because I've been reading reviews all around the place saying, "Oh my God, Scott Pilgrim is amazing." I'm a huge fan of Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz. I mean, I used to watch Spaced when it was on TV. I mean, it's just quintessential British humour, and obviously, being British, I like that kind of humour. Now, Shaun of the Dead made me chuckle. It was all very deadpan, but it was all very silly at the same time. Scott Pilgrim, it does utilise the same sense of humour because it's obviously directed by Edgar Wright, who's the British director of Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz. But I don't know, I had trouble getting into it at first. It did seem a bit flat considering how kinetic it was. But, once it got past, Boyfriend Number 2, I just kind of sat there and said, you know what, just go with it. Don't kind of analyse it too harsh. And, yeah, it was good. I really enjoyed it. There was a moment when Boyfriend Number 2 pulls out his phone and is checking his phone while Scott's getting beaten up in the background. He just says, "That is actually hilarious," and that just made me chuckle. It was little moments like that really kind of made Scott Pilgrim for me. I don't think it's the best movie ever made, and certainly I'm an avid fan of, avid reader of Empire magazine. Giving it a blimmin' 5-star rating, I think is ridiculous because it isn't a 5-star film. Like I said, I enjoyed it just as much as Kick-Ass, which they also gave a 5-star rating, but I don't think is a 5-star film. I would quite happily give it 4.5. So Piranha 3D, I would give 3. Scott Pilgrim, I would give 4.5. There's a quick catch-up for you. It's very brief. So I will now move on to... I'm going to quickly grab my copy of Halo Reach, and I shall give you a quick review of Halo Reach. Hello, back again. I will say that if you're not a fan of Halo, Obviously, if you're not a fan of Halo, just stop watching this video and piss off and go play your fucking PlayStation or something. Yeah, Halo Reach. By those fellows there at Bungie. Halo Reach tells the story of obviously the events leading up to the original Halo, and primarily obviously the fall of Reach, which is why it's called Halo Reach. You play Noble Six, who is the sixth member of a group of Spartans who are effectively the last few Spartans that left on Reach. And whilst investigating what could have been constituted as a attack by rebel forces, actually turns out to be an attack by the Covenant. Their worst enemies have found Reach and intent on driving humans away from Reach, which, apart from Earth, is the last vestige of humanity, really. It's basically just, trying to stop the Covenant from completely effing over Reach, and obviously you know how it happens. So the great thing about Halo Reach is that it kind of has this wistful of melancholy, if you will. Now, I'm a pessimistic person at the best of times, so I have no problems with being downbeat. If a movie or a book or something ends without everybody dying, I'll get a bit disappointed. Call me Captain Pessimism, if you will. They kind of give you all this time to spend with the characters whilst being in epic gunfights. So by the time you get about halfway through Halo Reach and you're really going with it, you really like all the people in it. Invariably, members of your team start dying. So when members of your team start to die, you actually feel really quite upset. Kind of like, as soon as another member of your team dies, you're like, oh no, he's dead. It's like, being really invested in the character in a movie, which is one thing I've really liked about the Halo series so far, is that they've strived to be cinematic. My brother was sitting there watching me play it, and we were both kind of sat there going, God, man. Pretty heavy going, wasn't it? It's also the last Halo game that Bungie are going to be doing, which is a bit of a sad state of affairs, because Bungie are effectively what made Halo, which is why Halo Wars was so rubbish. I'll be first to admit that I've never played the original Halo game. A bit of a sad state of affairs for a man who is a self-confessed avid fan of Halo. I came into it at Halo 2. And I thought Halo 2 was a bit overrated. I thought it was very good in places and very cinematic, and obviously you've got that. When my brother got his Xbox 360, he got Halo 3 free with it. We sat down and we played Halo co-op pretty much all the way through. And yeah, I was like, why the fuck haven't I played this before? This is amazing. Since then, I've been quite a proponent of Halo. A friend of mine at work likes to refer to it funnily as Galo. I don't understand why people genuinely don't like it. But then again, I'm more of an Xbox man and a PlayStation man, and some of the PlayStation exclusive games I'm not overly a fan of. Why the hell people love Metal Gear Solid so much, I can't stand it. It just bores me to tears. Halo just appeals to my gaming sensibilities. I'm a fan of first-person shooters. I like to play a game where I can just run in and booker people in the face, just get a shotgun, jump off a ledge and go. It's a really, really kind of, action-packed, constantly in some sort of firefight, or helping civilians get to safety, or you're in a gun turret, go. Couldn't help but, shout fairly aggressive curses, shall we say, sometimes at the screen. One thing that I really liked about it, in fact, is the fact that there's no translator in your head, so all the Covenant are speaking in their own native language. So rather than those little beasties going, they're just going, and then you shotgun them in the face. Halo Reach. Really, really, really good. I haven't played the multiplayer. I'm going to put my hands up and say that apart from cooperative and Modern Warfare 2 Team Deathmatch, I am not a massive fan of multiplayer. That's the review for Halo Reach, and I should probably be back tomorrow, unless I'm doing homework for my human resources course. I will be back on to review the whole 3D and Resident Evil Afterlife in 3D. Anyway, so that's me. I shall speak to you all soon. Adioski.
I think you guys should try heavy metal. Kiss my ass.